Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and the worst thing to ever do is judge a book by its cover or, for example, its size. Now, honestly, this book is only around 63 pages, and it took me around an hour to actually read. That's it. Very simple. However, though, when I read a book, usually, if I'm being honest here, I check Google and Amazon to see all of the reviews. If they're positive, then I go ahead and buy the book, usually. However, this book only has around 26 reviews on Amazon, and it has 0 articles and videos on it. So I was kind of hesitant to go ahead and buy this book, although after reading it, it is a pretty solid book. Is it the best book out there? The answer is no, but there is still information in here. Tell me, why is this important? Because basically, it taught me that basically, you never just want to look at a book and say, hey, I'm not gonna read it because basically everyone says it's bad. Okay, so this time I read this book, I took the chance. On top of that, it's Amazon. So if I don't like it, I just return it. So in this case, it turned out great. The book is awesome, and I highly recommend you go ahead and get this book. It's only $7, link down below. And on top of that, it's simple. But overall, this book promises 3 main things: maximize your time, leverage others, and instantly increase your profits. Now, does it do that? The answer is no. It doesn't do all that stuff. I'm being honest here, okay? But it is still a solid book, and I'll tell you about the 5 things I enjoyed the most in this book and what I actually learned. The art of delegation, right? It's all about delegating your work to other people so then go ahead and increase your productivity and to do other things and actually grow your business, okay? Now, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day, so you should also subscribe, hit the bell to get notified, and on top of that, also destroy the like button. And by the way, if you have any books you want me to read, comment down below, let me know, and I'll start reading them ASAP. Now, the very first thing I liked a lot about this book, guys, is basically the time aspect, okay? What will delegation do for you when it comes to time? The answer is it's going to free up a lot of time, because basically, it's the same way that someone has, for example, the same 24 hours in a day. However, one person gets a lot more done and another one does not get a lot done. You know, for example, when you have an entrepreneur just getting started, usually they're going to have 5 roles, okay? Guess what? I'm the CEO, the CFO, the secretary, the accountant, also the marketing manager. You do every single thing that has to do with your entire job, entire business. However, when it starts growing, you will not be able to manage it. Usually, if you want to grow and expand, usually you want to go ahead and say, hey, I need to delegate some of this work. For example, for me at least, okay, I started to delegate my editing, okay? So for example, I have an editor, his name is Danny, and does great work. And the idea is that basically, by him doing all the editing, now it frees up a lot of time for me to go ahead and say, hey, I can just go ahead and make more and more and more content. That way, the channel grows a lot faster. I can start a second and also a third channel, all while Danny is doing all that stuff. On top of that, I might go ahead and manage someone else or hire someone else later on, but the idea is that delegating is going to go ahead and free up a lot of your time and basically allow you to work on basically what the most important task in your entire business actually is. Now, number 2, guys, is basically ego versus delegation. What does ego have to do with delegating? The answer is, a lot of us think that basically we are the only person equipped to do the best version of that job possible. Meaning, hey, I'm the only one that can do this job this good because basically I've been doing it for so long and I have so much experience with it, right? And I don't have time to go ahead and hire someone and train them on everything because basically it's just going to waste my time. On top of that, when I get the work back, it's not gonna be perfect. Oh my gosh, it's a problem. However, that's all ego. In reality, there are people out there that are 10 times better at doing whatever you think you're actually good at. Because by the way, when you're doing so many things as an entrepreneur, usually you're gonna be mediocre at best sometimes at all those tasks. But if one person can specialize on that, they're going to be 10 times better than you can be. Again, my editor. I am a good editor. I edit fast, do everything I need to do. However, Danny is a lot better than I am. However, at one point in my life, I was like, you know what? No, I want to do everything myself. Everything has to be done by Tommy because basically I am the person in control. But again, that's usually ego. There's someone out there that can do a much better job than I can do. And on top of that, I'll tell them exactly how I do things to actually help them out and also try to grow them overall to actually become a better version of me. That's the overall idea. Ego versus delegation, you gotta let go of that ego aspect. And this book does a great job at breaking that down. Now, number 3 is basically delegation is refreshing. It reminds me of Steve Jobs, right? The creator of the iPhone, Apple, the big brand you guys love. The answer is, he said basically, when we pass away, it allows a new generation to come ahead and create new things, okay? However, delegation also does that in a way, because guess what? When you hire someone to do a job you've been doing for years, they come with their own experiences and their own methods, meaning they can go ahead and say, hey, you've been doing it this way. However, there is a better way to actually do it a lot faster, efficient, and much better. So delegation is refreshing to a business by basically hiring someone that can do a job much better and also in a different way. For example, okay, I had a job once at Town Sports, okay, HQ. And I went there and I was working this job. And the whole idea was I had to go ahead and manage acquisitions, meaning when they acquired a new gym or whatever, I had to go ahead, manage all those new people and put them into the system, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. And I was like, why not just build a program or basically buy a program to do all this stuff for you and not require us as employees actually here? And they didn't really have an answer for that. And then they actually wanted me to come on full time. But I don't see myself working for a company where they keep obsolete jobs for the sake of just keeping them. So the idea is that sometimes when you do a job over and over and over again for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it can get very stale. However, when you bring somebody else on the team and they have their own methods of doing it, they can actually refresh it and actually make it a lot better. And that's why, as someone that delegates, you have to allow people space to do things the way they actually do it, and that way might actually do better or might actually be better. Now, number 4, guys, is basically leaders lead and managers manage. Now, honestly, when I was growing up, I saw a lot of bad examples of leaders, like movies. Oh my gosh, the leader is bad. You don't want to be with him. Okay, he's so angry. He's so controlling. Or for example, with like people that actually know when they try to take advantage of their employees and so on, and the idea is that a lot of the times we see all these ideas of just bad leaders. However, there are good ones out there. And to find those, I had to do a lot of reading, right? For example, my favorite leader is probably Warren Buffett and Sam Walton. Sam Walton is not here anymore. However, he's a person that built, for example, a $300 billion industry. It's basically Walmart. The creator of Walmart was actually Sam Walton. And the idea is that a good leader is not controlling, like micromanaging you, or for example, not giving you confidence. But in reality, they empower you to do a better job. They trust you and make sure you have all the tools you actually need to do the best job possible. That is what a good, empowering leader actually does. So as a leader, your job is to go ahead and lead people to success. Help them with everything they actually need. But you have to be able to just do your job as a leader. So basically, you lead. Managers are going to be in charge of the day-to-day. So the whole point is basically leaders lead. You do that aspect of the business, the important part, and managers can take care of all the other jobs involved in that business. However, my favorite part of this book is basically how he says, you know what, leaders are all about just about empowering their employees to actually give them trust and confidence to go ahead and do a better job than they can possibly do, right? That's the whole idea, man. I had jobs before, and I always felt best when someone put trust in me, told me, Tommy, you can do a good job, you're doing great, and always gave me, for example, a challenge. You can do this, Tommy. I can't do it. Yeah, you can. That's why I'm giving it to you, right? That makes you feel really good as an employee and someone that's actually following a good leader. But when someone is just like, hey, like not there all the way, like a leader just basically micromanaging you, it's not a pretty happy idea, and that's not usually what you want. And you don't want to be that either, okay? So delegation is something you learn, is an art, is a skill, so something that you actually can practice, which is actually awesome. Now, number 5, guys, is trust and verify. You can have an employee, you can delegate tasks, you can trust people, but on top of that, you also need to verify the work they do to make sure it's actually up to standard. Now, by the way, sometimes you make an excuse and say, for example, hey, no, I trust my employee, I trust that person, but in reality, you also have to go out there and verify their work to make sure it's actually up to standard, right? So I'll tell you guys a story. I have a friend, and this friend, we actually started a business together, right? So I put in most of the money to the business, and I actually allowed him to do basically everything, right? Everything to it. And I said, well, I trust him, right? So he can do all the work, everything's gonna be fine. But also I was being lazy by not verifying everything he was actually doing, right? Not everything, but the point is the important parts, right? I was supposed to be in charge of those things and actually verify. And sometimes you can say, hey, I'm delegating. I trust that person. I don't need to verify anything. No, you need to verify everything, because by the end of that business, well, in reality, now my friend is stuck owing me a lot of money. He can't pay me just yet. And now it's kind of like, hey, what are we going to do here, right? Because he did a terrible job. And basically, I could have helped him. But again, I wasn't verifying his work, although he wasn't asking for help. But the idea is, if you're going to delegate or be a leader, you have to be actively there to make sure you actually get the questions out of those people, even though they might not actually be asking you. So trust, but also verify the work people actually do. And lastly, guys, a bonus is this, okay? Start small. You don't want to start a fire you can't put out. So when you start delegating, start small. Start with small tasks here and there, let them go, and then slowly build up to more and more and more important tasks. That's the whole idea. But overall, guys, this book was a very small but thorough read. It's actually pretty good, not that bad at all. Do I recommend it? The answer is yes. Link down below to get this book. And on top of that, guys, if I'm being honest here, although the book is great, it did lack in a few aspects. You know, because the length is pretty small, it did miss out, for example, on, you know, how to hire the right person, how much money to pay them, more stories and action steps. So it is small, and because of that, it does not include all those aspects. However, if you do want a more complete book, you can probably get The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy, and that book is going to fulfill and all the aspects that you actually need. But if you just want the simple ideas, here's right here in The Art of Delegation by Charles C. Malone. So again, it taught me a lesson. Don't just basically judge every book by reviews and covers, but also sometimes give it a chance, okay? Especially since Amazon, you can just return whatever you want, so it's actually pretty awesome. But guys, that is it. Comment down below, let me know. And also comment down below books that you actually like. That way I can actually read them and learn something also. See you guys next time, and as always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And if you guys want to text me or call me, join my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at TommyBryson. And before I go, if you want to watch another video, here it is right here, and click my face right here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.